What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Breaking Bread. We got the worldwide famous Premium Pete here.
Man, that's a hard comment to live by, but
if people are ordering your pasta sauce in Japan, that means that you're world famous.
I mean, Japan, Melbourne, Australia,
Holy shit.
London, Lithuania, Scotland,
Scotland.
Dubai.
Wow.
Man, I'm saying so many fucking ums. No, listen, it's one thing that's really special, and we'll get into it. First off, thanks for having me.
Of course,
Absolutely,
man.
Pete.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure.
And I will say this though, when people, right now a 2-pack of my sauce is $15.99 right online.
Okay.
People are ordering. It's crazy to me, and I'm very thankful. Thing is like $95.99, meaning $80 shipping.
Yeah.
$15.99 for the product, and that's really it's really special. I think when you put something out there, you give people a chance to critique it. Some people are gonna like it, some people aren't gonna like it. That's just how it is. No matter how good you are, no matter how positive you are, no matter how much you help people will find stuff to hate on you. And I guess I say, don't ever let that affect your vision to where you're going.
Listen, man, if it's going worldwide, people buying it around the world, the sauce has got to be fucking bomb.
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, you want to have, and that's the thing that's really special. And I think anybody who's Italian or Italian American, or particularly even if you're not, if you make a certain sauce, if your grandmother, if you grew up with that type of traditional sauce, it's authentic. It's good. It's just a matter of putting good marketing behind that. That's one thing special. Italian food is like many others, but Italian food is a culture of a life. Think about it. These fucking people, most of the people are heavy. Most people are named Fat Tom, Fat Dom, Fat Jerry. Now, let me ask you, don't make fun of them, because I'm going to tell you why. They have lived a life.
Yeah.
I know health is wealth, but that's a lot of fucking prosciutto, a lot of prosciutto, a lot of spaghetti, a lot of pasta. Look, I will say this. Sitting down and conversating is an Italian family thing. Something that I miss. And when I say I miss because as you get older, and like most families, it's not only about time, but I'm speaking from my experience, your family dwindles. Who passes away, who doesn't talk to this one no more, who's upset about this, who doesn't like this one now. And it's really sad, because I think when you're young and you grow up in such a big family, you don't realize how much that support is really your backbone of your journey until you get older. I think in my life, I've done so many fucking things, and whether good or bad, I can sit here and say that my family always supported me. I remember being in the precinct and my mother asking the cops if she could bring me some, sausage, meatballs, and some pasta. I swear to God, and I remember the cop exactly saying, like, your mother's crazy. She wants to bring you some pasta and sausage and meatballs. Well, I told her she can, because she's going to bring me some as well. And I was like, that sounds like my mother.
Were you the type that would have lunch at school and have the fork and knife?
It's funny. It's funny though. I had Nutella sandwiches. See, it's funny because when you think about certain people, and again, this is for people listening, like, it doesn't matter if you're Italian or not. But what I'm saying is, when you think about the Italians who listen and understand, I'm Italian American. I'm proud. I'm a proud Italian American. But there was like kids I grew up with that were really Italian. Like their mother and father spoke no English. You know what I mean? And they had to translate. I remember like kids I grew up with, like their teacher would say, like, they'll get in trouble. The kid had to translate to the parents. So he would just say, shit. "Oh, she said I'm a very nice," like they would tell the parents in Italian, that she's just saying good, and the parents, "Oh, okay, thank you," and they have no idea what the fuck is going on. I always found that funny. But those are the type of kids that would come while you had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They had a Nutella sandwich, and I don't know why they felt bad, because Nutella is one of the GOAT Italian snacks.
Yeah,
along with Martinelli's, apple juice. How you doing?
How was it like? Obviously, you're a man of many talents. You have your hands in almost every aspect of the entertainment industry. What was it like growing up with an Italian family and trying to explain that to them, like explain your dream?
Man, it's a great question because I'm still going through it. That's the only thing I hate about fucking Italians, man. They never acknowledge what you're doing unless it's something normal. Like, you work a 9 to 5, you go, you work 30 years, you make a 9, you retire, and then you die. That's what, no.
I know.
It's not, that's not what I'm living anymore, and that's not what I'm preaching to live. You know, if you want to do that and keep yourself busy, no problem. But, you know, we live in a world where my generation still deals with a little bit of stigma about, well, we don't know exactly what you do. Look, I'm blessed to sit here and say I've done a lot of things. I'm blessed to still be here because I've done a lot of, you know, things that I thought that maybe I wouldn't be here. You know, I got casted into a movie. Armando DeSante says, you are good. I want you to go for this audition that I'm a lead in. I think you could, you know, I think you could be good at it. I tell my parents, they're like, oh, wow, we hope that works out for you. And I says, oh, okay. And then I called them back. I says, I got the part. And they says, we hope it works out. Yeah. And I'm like, what works out? I got the fucking part in a movie. you know, and again, you know, it sometimes, you know, even like I have like a lot of family members that support me. And they are and have been the backbone of my journey. You know, I never forget those moments. Never. You know, my grandmother, 80 years old, you know, taking a 10-hour bus to a prison to see me.
Oh, wow.
You know, 10 hours each way, you know, sitting on the floor, correction officers walking by, and she's like, that piece of shit. I said, Grandma, they didn't do anything. You know, I wanted to play the game, and I'm here. Yeah. I do it, and I go home. But the support, you know, I was away with a lot of kids. They never got a visit. And they were really hurting and destroyed. You know, you get no mail, you get no visits. You know what that tells the people in jail? You're nobody. But nobody cares about you. Yeah. And it's a hard fucking feeling to go through. And I want to sit here and say, family is everything to me. Because it gave me that support that I needed, even if it was not even known when I was down and out. And, you know, again, growing up, you know, one thing I loved about a big Italian family, you know, somebody had a raise. Like, somebody got a raise at their job. There was 30 people on a Tuesday with a cake. We have a small cake, little Carvel.
Always a little Carvel.
You know,
a little cheesecake.
But, you know, coffee wants coffee, you know. Who wants, you know, but those moments always stick with me. But to answer your question, too, you know, I'm still going through that. And honestly, it hurts me. And I say it hurts me only because you have to continuously prove yourself, even though you're living. I mean, I've done so many things, bought houses, showed my parents different things, took them on vacations, did whatever I could do. And they love me, but they somehow still don't understand what I do. And I get that a lot, you know, shouts to Rocco. People always ask me, you know, because like this, like, what is it that you exactly do? And, you know, I started answering, depends on what day of the week it is. But I think you should learn, and I should learn better to explain to people what exactly I do. The problem is I do so many things, you know, that I don't know how sometimes to explain that. But obviously people see the value. So anyway, long story short, when you think of your parents or people that you love, if you're an entrepreneur, I don't give a fuck what you are, Italian, anything, Russian, let me tell you something. You have to believe in you more than ever. Stop looking for approval and understanding from people who have no idea where you're going. If you know where you're going, you need to continuously stay focused. And
approval
that's it.
Is the right word. That's what I was
saying. Well, we're looking for approval from people who grew up never even talking about the word entrepreneurship.
And in a different time frame. You know, it's kind of like that feeling where you get a 90 in a spelling test and you bring it home and they say, what happened to the other 2 points?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's like,
that type of thing.
See, that type of thing. That's type of stuff that, you know, that makes me personally be like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, people look for perfection, but there's no such thing. You know? But I will say this. as an entrepreneur, as somebody who likes to create things, who, you know, is an artist in his own right, you know, you can't only look for people. You know, again, I've been with women who say, "Oh, it'd be nice for me to just get up in the morning and jump on a plane and you know, I got to go to work." Well, I'm going to work too. I'm going to produce this show down in L.A. I'm just saying, you can't. You have to. It's very tough. I'm, and I don't know if I sound like I'm struggling with it, is because it's very, very tough. It's something that I still deal with that annoys me.
Pete, do you think a good word to use is influencer? Is that what you would add?
No. I mean, I guess I'm not a fan of the word. You mean me as an influencer?
Because
no.
you're influential, you don't think?
Well, you can influence people and not be an influencer. You could be somebody that is a creative, somebody that is an artist, somebody that does a lot of things. And, you know, I mean, if you're not, I'd rather say you inspire people, man.
Inspire.
Yeah, you inspire people. And I think that's important. But most people are only out to inspire themselves. But anyway, that's my opinion.
So where did the name Premium come from?
Yeah,
That's what I want.
Listen, you know what's funny? Before I get there, I'll tell you this. And this is why I say never, one of my biggest quotes is never ever stop believing in you. And I write that a lot because you could stop believing in you and you'd be surprised what happens. You know, get depressed. If you get depressed, you know, and you want to put the blanket over your head or you want to shut the light off during the day, maybe you want to take a little nap because you feel a little defeated. Just don't stay there long. Because the point I'm trying to make is when you stop believing in you, everything could stop. Everything could stop. You know, before I get to where Premium came from, I'll never forget about like 15, 16 years ago. Well, maybe earlier than that. A couple years before that. I remember I was at a sneaker event. And some kid, who was like young, like 15 years old. And he came up to me. He was like, "Premium Pete, right?" And I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, "Ah, man, great to meet you, man. Can I take a picture with you?" I was like, yeah. And as he was getting like his dad or something, it was like a young kid to take a picture with me. He was like, "Premium Pete." And his father says, "Premium Pete? That's some fucking name." And to be honest with you, I was at a point where I was thinking of getting rid of it. Because I was like, you know, I don't know. I was just, you know, sometimes it's like a radio guy.
I love the name, man.
No. The way that father said that shit, I believed him from his soul.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, forever, you know, we're going to run and keep it. But Premium always came from sneakers, you know. When you think about Premium Air Force One, Premium was always the qualities, was always the higher level of a sneaker. So, you know, me always being a sneaker lover, collector, obsessor, whatever you want to call it, you know, just went with Premium. I mean, I've called a lot of things. The neighborhood Italian kid, I called Petey. You know, at one point in time, I was very short. They called me Half Pint. Petey Boy. You know, Petey was always a big thing. You know, I think Italians like, you know, Petey Boy. You know, you always get like that.
Petey!
Yeah, so you always get like things like that. But Premium, you know, is something that stuck with me through all those years. And like I said, has, you know, really developed into, you know, I guess some people say, is your real name Pete? I'm like, yeah. So, you know, it's not like I'm saying Premium Pete. My name's Jack. You know? How you doing?
Wait, so your last name isn't Pete? Your first name isn't Premium?
No. I put that on things, though.
Really?
Yeah, I put that on things.
What is your full name?
Peter Gibaldi.
Okay. Very Italian, by the way.
Yeah. I used to get
Italian.
called Baldy. The funny thing is, you know, or Gibraltar. People think it's Gibraltar because there's a Gibraltar.
Gibraltar, the place.
Yeah. You know, I would get that. Nobody can really pronounce it right, but yeah, it is typical Italian name, you know.
Where would you say that your family's ancestry is from in Italy? Because I know that you said that your grandparents are right off the boat, right?
Yeah, from Sicily, Castellammare di Golf. You know, I really didn't go a lot. You know, that's the thing, too. It's like when my mother's side, my grandmother's mother's side passed away, that was many years ago. Mm-hmm. You know, I was telling you, too, when we spoke the other day, that's when I realized we had cousins come from Italy. These people had blonde hair, blue eyes. I was like, who the fuck are these people? And they were looking at me like, who the fuck is this people? They would come to New York, you know what I mean? And you know, it was a shell shock for me, you know. Italy is beautiful. You know, I haven't visited enough as I would like. You know, I think in my later age, I need to make like a real big visit there, start to see whoever family I have left there. But, you know, I'm also Italian-American. But, yeah, my family is Sicily. That little place called Castellammare di Golf. If you look up, where is it? It should be over here somewhere.
Yeah, it's over there on the wall.
Yeah.
Would you want some pastries right now? I got
yeah.
some pastries.
You got rainbow cookies, 7 layers. No,
No, we have
you got cannolis,
Pignoli cookies.
Pignoli, I eat all day. You know, it's funny.
The whole nine.
My grandmother used to make Pignoli cookies, but she used to
Really,
complain
from
how
scratch?
much it cost for the almond paste or something like that.
The marzipan.
There we go.
What do we got? What do we
That
got?
one's
How you
empty.
doing?
What's here? How you doing?
That one's empty.
What
Come
type
on,
of
Greg.
pastries are those?
Yeah,
Let me
you
see what we
the
got.
cannoli.
I love
You
Pignolis.
got a little bit of everything.
Nice.
So, one thing I love about Pignolis is inside it's like a chewy gum. Expensive cookie by the pound, you know, but very good, very good. My grandmother also used to make 7-layer cake. I know some people call it rainbow cookies, some people call it 7-layer. My grandma would make that for scratch. One of my favorite dishes. Yeah. One on top, one on top, one on top. It was a tedious procedure. But it was something, you know, when you think about those moments in Italian families, even like the sticky balls.
Yeah. What are they called? We were just strafoli.
Strafoli. I remember my grandmother had the machine. She put it on the side of the table and clamped it there. And she was like running the fucking thing and who's dipping this and putting the honey in. And I'll be honest with you, what they didn't realize what they were doing was teaching entrepreneurship and how everyone came together and made this happen. You know, in the beginning, when I just dropped the sauce, and the reason why I dropped the sauce is because my grandmother, who lived to 98, Grandma Premium, who, God bless her, yeah, you know, I miss her every day. On the year she passed away, I didn't want to be sad because I'm going to be honest with you, it has been very hard for me, even though it's been, it's coming up on 2 years.
Oh, man.
It's been very, very hard for me. Just being honest. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, she lived 98 years. What a life. But she lived all of my life.
Yeah.
So all we knew was her. You know, the holidays ain't the same.
Of course.
Again, I told you, Italian family, this happens in every family, but I'm speaking from my point. You have that matriarch of the family.
I was just about to say, patriarch
All of
and
a sudden, this one. My family went from big. Over the years, you'll see how it just shrinks to small. Who's argues about money, argues about that. But, you know, I think about those moments and how we would share. And I think about when we dropped the sauce on her 1 year anniversary passing away. I was like, you know what? We're going to celebrate this as a day of, this is the 2nd year anniversary, or the 1st year anniversary of the sauce dropping. Not she's gone. This is for her, you know, in memory of her. And what she had brought to the table as being a family. And I think that was special. And I had all my family. I had my mother making the sauce, my father mixing it. We were canning it, and my daughter putting it on the label before we moved to, you know, a small factory. And I was like, yo, this is straight out the mud. This is showing your family, like this is showing your kids. This is showing people how to just, you know, literally straight out the mud.
And you knew right away. You turned into a business, right?
Well, I always been a businessman, you know, and here's one thing I never did as a mistake, and I tell people don't do this, is I took a very long time for me to put out something that people could support me. You know, in this day and age, I don't give a fuck if you're an IG comedian. People are going to fuck with you. Mm-hmm. And don't be ashamed to put something out because they want to support. How do I support all these laughs you've been giving me? How do I support all this advice you've been giving me all these years? How do I support all this content that I get from people all over the world that says, you literally changed my life? So I would see people, Premium Pete, oh man, how can I support you? I'd be like, I watch a show or listen to a show or something. So when I put out the sauce, I think it was the first opportunity for people to really show some love and say, let me support this kid. But it is a weird feeling because it's like, you know, you don't want people to think like, you know, buy this. But I don't want to be one of those people. I want it to be like something that like when you use it in your house and you want to make some nice pasta or you want to make like a nice chicken parm or a baked ziti or an eggplant parm, you want to take your dish to the next level, use this. And really inspire someone to say, hey, you can make something happen.
So when you started your entrepreneurship journey, that was with the sneakers? Is that where it started 15, 16 years ago?
No, I would say...
I was going to say, you've been a hustler your whole entire life, probably, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was a paper boy. I was a paper boy. I had paper route. I don't even know if people know what that is anymore. I was delivering newspapers, daily news. I had a route at a young age. A lot of people did. But I wouldn't say that was entrepreneurship. Maybe it was early. You know, for many years, to be honest with you, I spent a lot of years in the dark. And I say this a lot, you know, where I didn't know it was what I wanted to do. You know, my nephew, he's 18 years old. You know, his name's Robert. Oh, shit. What the hell's going on here? They're coming to get us. We didn't do it.
How you doing?
Omerta.
Pete, and, you know, I just want to say that going back on, because I know that you're an inspirational speaker now, or I guess you can say motivational speaker. I've seen what people have written to you and the way that you've changed people's lives. Like, that's a really amazing thing that you got going. Like, you're passing down that knowledge of life.
You know, it's something that you do inadvertently, too. Like, meaning, like, it's not something I woke up and said, I want to help other people. You know, you first want to help yourself.
Yeah.
I just think that when you're not selfish and you've been through a lot in life and you're blessed just to be able to, you know, live a life, and you're able to, you know, look, without going too much into it, it's fucking hard to become successful. It's even harder to stay successful. Some people don't want it. You know, I met a guy in the parking lot today, and he was walking past you know, because I have an electric car, and he says, "Where's the gas?" I says, "No gas, all electric." And he says, "I'll never get it." I said, "Okay, why?" He says, "I don't like change." And I was like, okay. No, but what I'm saying is, there are people who don't like change.
Yeah.
And you can't talk to them. But I think that if you have a message where you're trying to deliver, and my message has always been for people to strive harder, to never give up, that you didn't make a mistake, you learned a lesson, that you could change your life around, that you could come home from prison and be a better person, that you could be a better father, that you could, you know, but there's also other things that come along with that. And I'm going to be very honest with you. A lot of people want, you know, we're living in a day and age where people want to become famous tonight, not even tomorrow, not even worried about money. They want to become famous. Let me tell you something, man. It takes 10 years to become an overnight success, but more so, you have to use certain tools. I'm not trying to sound like a fucking preacher, but you have to practice tools to become that. And one of the, you know, a lot of that is sacrifice. You know, when you don't want to sacrifice, you need to sacrifice. You know what happens? People get very comfortable with things, people, and projects. And what happens is they want to drag in their feet. I'm telling you, if you feel like you know me, and you know, or you feel like you know somebody else, you know, you still want to come correct. You still want to deliver yourself at a high level. Sometimes people say like, I hung out with Pete 1,000 times, you know, I don't really, you know, or I did this, or I did that. You know, listen, you sacrifice. I don't know how to explain. Somebody like me, if you think I'm somebody that has done a lot of things, I'm still telling you I'm sacrificing. I'm sacrificing even now. Look, you know, I got a lot of love for growing up Italian, Sabino, his whole family. And Anthony, you know, I met him over the past, a couple of months or something. Nice kid, nice young kid. You know, you try to support people. What I'm saying sacrifice is this. Somebody who ever considers to be in my stage or whatever, I was in Staten Island. I live in Jersey. It took me an hour to get here. I could have went home. Now I got to come here and then go all the way back there. Most people wouldn't do this. Yeah. Especially if you think about it, it's like kind of like, this is a new show. I want to make this show. I want to give a good episode and have it go good. Most people are selfish. Yeah. What's that show going to do for me? So that is what I'm saying. Most people get to a point, okay, and they become popular from what they do, and they stop doing what they got popular to do. And then they don't know how to figure it out. So the point I'm trying to make is you could always springboard, which we could get into, and I told you springboarding is something that I really believe in, meaning springboarding from one thing to another, making something happen from something else. You know, somebody like me in sneakers, then I get into podcasting because somebody invited me. Then you go into this because of food, and you go into here, and I think that makes it all come together, you know?